know, lately a nigga been fighting a whole lot of demons. A lot of shit we do gonna have consequences, but we gotta be ready for them. Emergency, I just got out of surgery. I'm having problems with my heart and it won't work. I did some shit in my past and it's cursing me.
Tap the screen if you're just coming in.
I'ma stay right here for this toxic, gonna take breath from me. I'm sipping this hand, it ain't just pain, but it ain't helping.
My little nigga going against the grain and that shit stressing me.
I pray to God, let God have mercy. I'm living a
Crazy life.
I just
Shout
shot
out
at a
to
nigga
niggas
for talking some shit on the game and paid the price. I was young and the rest for the money, my hunger for paper to save my life. And I should be saved tonight. If you wanna live shit, we can get rich, shit, we can get paid tonight. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit. Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down, down, down. You gonna do anything to get it, but where you gonna go up? Shit, gotta think about it. 187. You don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Gotta chop that shit over Fight my demons, fight my demons. So many demons. It's me against these demons. Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons.
Fighting mine.
It's me against these
Demons. Whoa, I'm fighting demons up in these ghosts. I'm fighting these demons up in the most. Hitting the beam, get hitting the spleen. That money be clean. They looking so clean. I remember they laughed at me. Gave them the ball. No go.
I stand on my word and stand by the consequence. They say I'm hard, this place for the compliment. I sing it dead, homie, yelling company, VMG gang, and bitch, we ain't competent. Don't wanna hear that shit, I gotta kill that shit, lethally militant. I can get ignorant, we not considerate. Niggas do silly shit, we get the drilling shit, guilty and innocent.
Don't give a fuck my bystander.
I can pull up in the
Hot Nana.
Don't take no slam, don't take no slam. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit.
Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down, down, down. 187. You killed a nigga, you don't know if you gonna go to heaven.
Fight my demons, fight my demons.
Fighting my
Me against these
demons.
Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons.
So let me ask y'all, do y'all think, okay, so a lot has come out with this Donald Trump thing. A lot has come out, right? Apparently, Donald Trump passed a letter to Putin from his wife explaining the Ukraine situation, right? Putin done went back and exposed a lot of stuff. Well, I'm not going to say exposed because this still puts us at the table. Donald Trump and them is saying, okay, they didn't get the ceasefire that they asked for. They didn't get the ceasefire that they asked for, but they still might have, you know, might be coming to some sort of peace agreement, even though they didn't get the ceasefire. Now, Anya, she said, let me see if we can get this letter. Let's see if we can get this letter.
One of the most interesting or magnificent cities.
So this is what the letter says.
Possibility and
this is the peace letter to Putin.
As parents, it's our duty to nurture the next generation's hope. As leaders, the responsibility to sustain our children extends beyond the comfort of a few. In today's world, some children are forced to carry a quiet laughter, untouched by the darkness around them.
That's the question, somebody. Who's really in charge here?
That could potentially
Who's really controlling this situation?
Mr. Putin, you can single-handedly restore their melodic laughter.
Right? That's the question here. Who's in charge? Now, I guess Trump tried to use, his wife's words as a way to, favor Putin's side, right? Okay. Sure I am. Sure I am. So, like every other time that Putin sat at the table, they saying Putin sat at the table, and the same thing he did in every other situation, he went back and undermined the, meeting by sending attacks, right? It would seem like, Anya has more understanding of what's going on with the Ukraine, with the children, so on and so forth. Even though it might have looked like they were meeting and talking about the Ukraine, I think this might have more so to do with currency and the operation of it, and actually changing over to a different currency system, if that makes sense. So I think this more so would be on the lines of like the currency system, understanding that, so on and so forth, right? Because something's changing in our currency system. Something has changed. Something is changing, right? And nobody really wants to like speak on it. What was the meeting all about? We're kind of already in digital currency, right? I mean, we're in the age of technology. We're kind of already in a digital form of currency, whether we like it or not, right? We're in the operation of currency right now. We're in a form of that. We see everything is moved to digital. MasterCard is accepted everywhere. Our banks changed to this. Maybe this was to sit, to get more so at the table with China and some of the other people. But, the Ukraine thing, yes, it would be nice to come up with a solution for that. But at the same time, was this a bigger meeting? Was this meeting something bigger? Right? Was it something bigger? Because, with Trump flexing the power of the, B-2 stealth bomber, and, Putin saying like, next time we got to do this in Moscow, right? Because he want a chance to flex his power, right? So you're seeing this, and this is nothing more than, boys with their toys, right? This is a boys will be boys situation. He and Trump, maybe in the right sense, he's in the right direction because he's at least at the table, right? A lot of our presidents won't even try to put themselves at the table because they say that, Putin is a trickster. He's a sorcerer of the sort, so he plays a lot of games. Putin's main job is to undermine our democracy, so on and so forth. So if y'all can hit the like button and, get some more people in here, share it live. But everybody just put something in the comment section. I want to know, like, what do you guys think about this whole situation with everything that's coming out right now with, Anya letters being released, or the letter that was being released, the way that the hotel said that they were in Alaska is basically like social, the services was dropping the ball on this one. They found, documents that shouldn't have been found in their copy machine, so on and so forth, right? So there's a lot of things that's around this, said topic that a lot of people are not speaking on. I think we should, just discuss it a little bit. I saw a video of Trump last week. He said he was meeting Putin in Russia. So, well, this meeting took place in Alaska. And it's ironic that it took place in Alaska is because This part of Alaska was actually sold to America by Russia. And Russia still states that they was duped, or they did not really sell this part. So this part where they meet at in Alaska is actually a debatable area, because according to Russia, they saying that they didn't really sell it, or however it works. So the base that they met on was actually a base that we bought from Russia however long ago. But ironically, when you are talking about Russia, Alaska is one of the entry points. Alaska is closely connected to Russia. I mean, they say like you can stand on the banks and actually look over and see Russia at some part in Alaska or something like that. You can actually see Russia across the waters. Why, Paul? Why I gotta stop chatting bullshit? Why I gotta stop chatting? Everybody else talking about stuff. Why you against the subjects that I pick, or why you against the titles that I pick? You know, you can go work on your profile picture, because I don't see no profile pic by your name. You can go work on that, spend some time editing your profile. That's, you know, if I was one that was focused on myself instead of focused on other people. They're saying it was a body double for Putin. That's what I'm saying. They saying that wasn't really Putin that was there. So if it wasn't Putin that was there, then we have to see. Here's the thing about a body double. If you get into an agreement and that person sent a body double, right, then technically they didn't agree. That's why they say, you know, Putin does a lot of sorcery and stuff like that. They usually show Putin with a nice little wizard around him, like a Jafar. You know, he usually have a Jafar with him. We're really going down this rabbit hole. Steve, you don't want to go down this rabbit hole? Come on. I mean, how deep do you want to go with the rabbit hole? That's the only question. That's the only question, Steve. Huh? Now, if you're looking at this, this is like deep state right here. All right? This is deep state, global elite information about, you know, things to come and the progression of what is, always was, and always will be, right? A lot of people think that we're in control down here, but the world is really one big stage. And this you know, knowledge actually goes beyond the you know, it might go beyond the Galactic Federation of Light. And you hear a lot of the elites, if you look it up, you hear a lot of them talk about the Galactic Federation, right? You hear a lot of it. So the only real question is, who's in control here? Who's in control? Because obviously Trump is not in control. You know, and it's sad because Trump might have all good intentions. But I think if we lead by an example here in America and make the changes here in America, I think we kind of force the other continents to do the same thing, right? So if we make the necessary changes to make America great again, then the other continents will be in that level of competition to try to look better than us, right? So if we bring back a level of decorum, a level of decency, a level of a moral compass, if we do that on our own collectively, right, then the other continents will follow suit, almost like the 1,000 monkey serum or 100 monkey series, whatever it's called, right? So it's almost like that. If we focus on just doing better as a country, treating each other better as a country as a whole, right, then the other countries can't really look at us and say, well, Americans are this and Americans are that, and they don't even like their own people, right? If we start loving everybody here in America, right, then that says a lot about these third world countries that's not a mixing pot. If the mixing pot learns how to love, then all these other places will have to learn how to love too. Because why? Because as an example, right? As an example, we're leading by example. We can't tell other continents how to go about conducting their people if we don't conduct our people or ourselves properly. So if we do, and this is why I say, if Trump comes out with a program that changes the unemployment rate, kind of like Uber, this is why I'm trying to get in touch with Trump, right? If Trump comes out with a program, and Trump, if anybody from Trump's PR team is watching this, please get me in touch with Trump. This will change the unemployment rate, which will change things greatly. All right. So please get me in touch with Trump. This is a fill-in.com program. It's kind of like Uber, but it's for the working America, the working American, right? Basically, you can sign up for a program that will allow people to fill in for you for excess amount of time. Say you want 1 day off or 3 days off out the month, somebody comes in, fill in for you. Due to the fact that we have customer service representatives in a lot of marketings, and we have food representatives in a lot of marketings. So if you got your food handler card, you can work at different McDonald's and, Burger Kings in the area. If you got your customer service representative card, you can work at Lowe's and different, Targets in the area, right? And you can accumulate 40 hours just jumping from place to place, filling in for people. This gives the business a backdoor to say that you don't never have to worry about being unemployed. This gives the employee the days off that's recommended, and this gives the unemployed a chance to accumulate hours by working at this job and that job. So this can change the unemployment rate greatly, right? So I think if we actually focus on that, changing the unemployment rate, if we change the unemployment rate in our country, that gives the government more people to tax in the country. And all we have to do is pretty much fill in for one another. The money would actually come in through the ads that's on the application. The application will provide not only a way for you to reach out to find somebody to fill in for you, but it will also provide, training services, interviews through Skype, so on and so forth. So just the amount of traffic that's coming in through the ad alone, it will pay for itself. And that's not even including the package that an employee might sign up for and whatever percentage that you might be getting from the people that you're using, right? So I think if we just listen, I think this is something that can change on all continents, on so many different continents, this can change, right? But I think if we started here in America first, leading by example, we done already had Uber, we done already made shopping easy, right? The only thing we have not focused on is Workforce America. If we make working easy, right? Make it so that people who work can get a little bit time back with their family. Make it so it's not as hard for us here in America, with working and overtime. Right now we have a shortage on people who want to work. But I think if we, change, think about it. Someone, working at customer service representative, they can work at Walmart one day, the next day go over to Home Depot, the next day go over to Lowe's, the next day go over here, right? By the end of that week, they can accumulate 40 plus more hours, right? So I think, and I did a trajectory on this, just an idea-based company, not even the multi-million-dollar company that it would need to actually run this. Just the idea-based company, it will change the unemployment rate by 3.8%. It will literally change the unemployment rate by 3.8%, and that's on a small scale, right? That's on a small scale, right? And then everything is like backed up through the phone, right? So you log in through your phone, right? You create the app systems for the phone to log in, so that way you can keep track of who logged in here, right? You give people special numbers after they pick the person that's going to, you make sure you cover all your ends and keep the insurance, policy right, because you got to make sure it's insured, make sure everybody has certain levels of protection, and as far as to be able to keep the paperwork for the taxes, right? Due to the fact that we are moving to a digital system, more social advanced system, right? It will be easy to keep track of all of this due to the fact that, you know, you have the social media, so on and so forth. You know, so I would love to get in touch with, you know, a Trump representative or a Trump PR person that can probably spark this level of creativity in the minds of some of these politicians, so that way we, through these levels of measures, we can actually change the shape of America. And by changing the shape of America, by how we look at each other, we all mean to each other because we spending half our time working, the other half sleeping and stressing, right? So by the time when we do come into, engaging with one another, we angry at the world. We mad at some shit that's going on in our life. So we really ain't getting a chance to see how we actually treat each other. Yeah, Glenn, through a fill-in.com service, there will even be jobs for autistic-based or spectrum-based people, because through the fill-in.com service, right, you can actually have a means of filling in for people with the understanding of whatever it is that you're going through. That's the whole point of the process. When you fill out the application, when you're honest about the application, it will give you a list of jobs that you qualify for. Same thing with someone who's looking for somebody to fill in for them. Once they say what their job criteria is, it's going to send it out to the people who fit that job criteria. You get what I'm saying? So the same thing with, autistic based kids, you're going to get that job that fits your criteria. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, even if it's just picking up trash, even if it's just going out in the parking lot and picking up trash, clean janitorial work, different things of that magnitude. But with the Trump situation, we looking at Putin. Putin is not, we don't know which way Putin might go. You know what I mean? We don't know how Putin might respond to something. Putin's whole thing is to undermine the democracy of America, right? That's always been everything that we've been told, is that they're trying to undermine the democracy of America, right? So even in this situation, you can see the, underline of it, right? It's a smack in the face within itself, right? Trump goes out there with this extension of peace, and actually still showing a force of power, saying that America is not just going to be rolled over anymore, right? A lot of people that was in the president's seat did not fight for Americans. I'm sorry, but a lot of the people that was in the American seat, they did not fight for the American people, okay? There's no way we should be in this heavy of a trader's debt, right? We're in such a heavy trader's debt, right? There's no way, right, that you can say our presidents, fought for us until you get certain presidents in office. Certain presidents actually show that they're fighting for the people. Now, I'm not saying that he's fighting for all the people, but just to have somebody in there standing in for us against these people who we say are tyrants, so on and so forth. Maybe it takes a tyrant to take down a tyrant, right? I'm not sure how this works, right? But what I know is I'd rather have a president that's willing to fight as opposed to a president that plays diplomatic games based off of the favoritism of whatever country, right? When you got the Hillary Clintons out there who we watch get money, did a bunch of bullshit. We watched the Biden administration make a mockery out of the seat, right? He was having kids come off the plane and they had little vials of blood in their hand. Y'all ain't even pay attention to that. His own kid was high as fuck, doing drugs, everything. Nobody paid attention to that. Half the time, Biden didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Half the time. Didn't even stick to the script, right? The people around him didn't even want to be around him. Barack Obama and them wasn't giving him no respect. I seen the vice president just walk by him and didn't even look his way. So that tells me right there that the Democrats are not in the right mindset to actually take care of the American people, because they're too focused on trying to spread LGBTIQIA plus with a little bit of minus. So they ain't got it out for us. President, Barack Obama is not going around telling people, they need God in their life. Barack Obama going around telling people that they need a gay professor in their life, named Professor Ogilvy, like we're the Parkers or some shit. Say every man needs to keep one on standby just in case their kid got to think about a penis. You got to keep one on standby. Y'all hit that damn like button. Hit the like button if you understand what I'm saying. That's all. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Don't be afraid. No, LGBTIQIA is not the issue. We never said they was the issue, right? I respect the LGBTQIA, right? And I'm not going to go into the whole, I got this person in my family, I got that person in my family. That sounds too much like fucking racism, if you ask me. When people say you don't like black people, you say, yes, I do. I got black people in my family. Now y'all going around telling people they don't like the LGBTQIA. And now I got to tell you all the people in my family that is LGBTQIA. No, we ain't doing that. If you think that I got a problem with them, then you're allowed to perceive it how you want to perceive it, right? And no, I don't have to try a penis to say I get along with them, okay? So that's just it. Y'all don't think heterosexuals can just get along with it. Yes, we can. Y'all the ones that create problems with them. You guys push this agenda on our kids. We saying let them grow into their self. Let them learn what they can do with their shit first before you teach them an idea of what they can do. That's why the world is so confusing right now. Do you know there's trans canines out there? How many of y'all accept in the trans canine community? Huh? You don't know what the trans canine community is? That's the people who actually, date animals and they trans into animals. They're dogs. They trans. That's why Drake came out with the album, For My Dogs, because he was a part of that community. It's called trans canine. Just like they got the furries, they got a trans canine community. It's okay. Learn about your communities, that's all. So you could be, up to date with what's going on. What time is it where I'm at? I don't know. Oh yeah, it is about 6, 7 o'clock. 6, 7. Who let the dogs out? No, it was called For My Dogs, or this is for the dogs, For My Dogs. Your dog, you don't know what your dog is. Unless you see your dog in a relationship with a human, you can't say what your dog is right now. You don't know, because your dog never tried to be in a relationship with a human. So you don't know if your dog like that or not. So cut it out, Yeah, we in a world of idiocracy right now. You got furries living in your house. They got furries in our school. Look at the school system. The school system is changing. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. You guys don't want to move forward with the change, right? You guys are stuck in the 80s, the 70s, the 90s, right? This is why some of y'all just watch old movies. This is why some of y'all just listen to old music, because we're creatures of habits. And some of y'all got stuck in y'all ways. And y'all don't want to admit that time has moved forward and there's a lot of things that changed in this time, right? So right now, A lot of things has changed, and we have to accept a lot in this reality. Some of y'all scared to accept the reality that we live in, right? If you not afraid to accept the reality that we live in, put a 1 in the comment section and hit the thumbs up button. If you not afraid to accept the reality that we live in, put a 1 in the comment section and hit the thumbs up button. If you afraid to accept the reality that we live in, put a 2 in the comment section and hit the thumbs down button. Right? If you can accept reality and everything that we live in, then go ahead and hit the 1, because listen, some people, I see the youth right now. The youth is more willing to roll, let things roll off of their shoulders, let bygones be bygones, so on and so forth, right? The youth is beefing with people they see every day. And sometimes they decide to beef with them, sometimes they decide to let them slide, right? Both should be in jail. I don't think you can put both of them in jail, but hey, didn't y'all try with Trump already? Didn't y'all try to put Trump? Ain't he the only sitting active president? Don't Trump got an ankle bracelet on right now? Huh? Ain't Trump on like home confinement to the Oval Office or some shit? Don't he got to get a permission slip to go on trips and everything? Or he waiting for sentencing? Yeah, Trump is the only active prisoner president right now. I'm just joking. Home confinement. What's your crime? Misinformation. Hey, King James, get out of here, man. It's not misinformation. It's called a joke. It's called a joke. All you got to do is learn to laugh. Just laugh a little bit. Don't be so hard strung. You need a hug? We do got the sister wives. They can give you hugs. If anybody need a hug, just let me know. And we going to give out some hugs. Listen, I know all of y'all are not subscribed to this page. I seen some outstanding numbers yesterday, some numbers I didn't see before, right? And a lot of people are questioning the authenticity of these numbers. So if you could just hit the subscribe button so that way something can match, because they're analyzing my page right now. They're talking about, oh, your last video did 38K. How is that when your previous videos didn't do anything? How are you getting these numbers? Listen, you're going to have to talk to YouTube about that. Don't ask me about no numbers when all I do is press go live. That's it. That's all I do is press go live, okay? If the numbers is going up, it's because YouTube has found favor in me. I don't know what to tell you about it, but you need to ask YouTube. Just send a message to YouTube, say, hey, why is Ralph DeWise numbers going up? Because that's who can answer the question better than I can, right? I'm just a menacing bystander here to bring you updates on shit that's going on, right? Or whatever it is that I think I want to talk about, right? Tomorrow morning, we're going to be discussing how scientists have found a portal to they say that your soul is actually connected to different star colonies. So they say that they found a portal that actually explains how our soul is connected to these star constellations. So we're going to cover that tomorrow. If anyone wants to be around for that, make sure you hit the sub button, probably put your notifications on, because this is the stuff that we talk about over here, right? So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, how they explain that your soul is connected to different stars, and we'll go through the history of it. And this might explain why that Dogon tribe in West Africa said that they came from the Dogon constellations at a time that they did not know about the moon, stars, or quasars. So scientists are now coming out with new information saying that we all are connected to the stars. So there you go for the star seeds out there who have been confused they are now confirming that there are fragments of your thoughts that should be connected to different star constellations. So that's a great thing. If you like stuff like that, if you into stuff like that, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the page, because that's the direction that we're going into. We are all aliens. Yes, think about it. If they said that aliens are coming from our oceans, then that means that aliens was here before us. That makes us the aliens, right? If they were here before us, then that means we are the aliens, right? And then let's not get into ET, extraterrestrial, because then we have to break down what is terrestrial, because terrestrial goes to terrain, and terrain talks about land, and anything extraterrestrial would have to be anything that comes out of the extra lands. And since we know that we have an ice wall, then anything outside of our ice wall could be seen extraterrestrial, right? So, and plus, they just now came out and said that we are multidimensional beings. If you want to go look at the Joe Rogan effect, he's talking about that with Congresswoman, I'm sorry, I apologize, Congresswoman Luna. You can see that on the Joe Rogan effect. She's letting you know that some people down here are multidimensional beings. And she even went as far as saying that aliens wear the face of black people. I don't know how true that is, but I'm going to dig into it a little bit deeper. That goes into Zachariah Stitchen's, a little bit of the emerald tablets and the tablets of thought, and we're going to dig into all of that. So we're going to be, I know I need help. I've been trying to get the help that I need, you know? I've been trying to get the help that I need. I've been talking to the universe every night to send me help, to help people understand this world so they can know that it's stranger than fiction. You know what I mean? It's just about let me get something to drink. There's a universe telling you to quit. I don't think the universe would tell me to quit. The universe would tell me, keep going. Now, if you lack the understanding, then that's you. Yeah, I'm okay. I got that. Sometimes it's this thing, you know, it's called chronologist. I'm a chronologist. So sometimes in my field, you know, as a chronologist, you know, sometimes the chronicles of the ologist gets a little bit ologized. And when it gets ologized, your allergies react in a cough because of the chronologist of it. And when you break down this chronologist, right, and you just so happen to roll it and puff it, the chronologist chronologize in your lungs, which causes you to, you get what I'm saying? So when you a chronologist, you understand what I'm saying. I'm just doing research. It's all about research, you know. It's all about research, okay? As a chronologist, this is the research that we do. You know how some people study rocks? Yeah, some people study rocks. As a chronologist, you chronologize. You know, you study chronic. That's what you do as a chronologist. You study chronic. You are a chronic studier, right? And it just so happens when you are studying this chronic, it just comes with a couple of side effects. That's all. It's part of my study. That's all. You should probably get a study group, you know, a book club, something. I don't know what group you might want to be a part of, but you might want to be a part of a study group. Yeah, I'm a chronologist. If you want to be a chronologist, you hit that you hit that sub button. You know what I'm saying? You you studying right now too? Well, welcome to the chronologist club. Welcome to the chronologist club, huh? That's what I'm talking about. We need more chronologists in this world, huh? We need a chronologist club. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, I'm trying to chronologize with you. Huh? We need to do breathing exercises when it comes to chronology. Yeah. We need to do chronologies. Huh? We need to do chronologies. Yeah. Yeah, a whole symphony. Mm-hmm. Yeah, chronologist club. Yeah, I'm gonna be the president of the club because my birthday 420. So it's only fitting that the president of the club has a birthday of 420. You know what I mean? So I think I vote myself. I nominate myself for the president of the chronologist club, and we gonna start the meeting with a puff and end the meeting with a puff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? We're going to start the meeting with a puff and end the meeting with a puff. You know what I'm talking about? Who want to be a part of the club? One's in the chat if you want to be a part of the chronologist club. Huh? Sounds fun already. Just with that being said, I don't even know the shit we gonna talk about. But with that being said right there, I'm trying to be a part of that club. Shit. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to change a lot. I think we should hear a lot of this coming out Monday. Like we should hear a lot of this stuff coming out Monday regarding this negotiation. Now, this does open the door for the table. And this could be Putin's idea or way of getting Trump to come to Moscow. Now, if Trump do agree to go to Moscow, now we in danger water. Okay? Now we in dangerous waters. Right? Because Trump can never outright say that he's going to Moscow. That would be something that would have to be secretly planned. He would have to pop up in Moscow and then leave Moscow and then play a pre-recording of him being in Moscow when he was after he's somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? How tall is Putin? I'm not about to say how tall Putin is because I don't want to insult him. But in this picture, Putin looking like he 5'2". You know what I'm saying? I think Putin's about 5'2". Nah, 5'7". Putin is not 5'7".
He's 6.
Well, how tall is Trump then? Because according to this, Trump damn near got a whole foot on him. At least six inches. So how tall is Trump? 6'4"? Trump ain't 6. Oh, Trump is 6'3"? Oh, okay. Trump's the biggin. Oh, okay. Trump's the biggin. Trump 6'3". Nah, Putin look like if he rip off that shirt, he a little Mighty Mouse or something. Putin look like if he rip off that shirt, he probably cut up like a little what's that mouse that little Mighty Mouse? Like he be out there lifting up the plane or something. Meaning arms. Nah, Sandra, don't laugh. You know they work out in Russia. You know they work out. They get that Vladimir, they get the drinking. They work out, they get alcohol and start working out. You know they work out. Their militaries is rough. If Putin went through any type of training, that Russian training is rough, Trump out here going golfing and shit like that. Putin probably doing burpees in the cellar basement, you know, of a prison yard. Saying stuff like, nothing beat the old days, you know? I see Putin somewhere saying shit like that, you know? Nothing beat the old days, the KGB days, you know? Where you just go and take what you want. I don't really know the voice type, but that's what I'm seeing in my head, you know. Somewhere, you know, working out in a basement with brick walls and old style workout too. Not like new weights or nothing like that. Like old weights, you know, lifting bricks and shit. Doing push-ups on cement and shit. Cinder blocks on his chest. Sit-ups. Tyson squats. Shit like that. This ain't Rocky 3. Yeah, we know it ain't Rocky 3. It's World War 3. Now learn to smile a little bit in it before they start confiscating our forks and spoons and shit and put us on rations. All right? You already see what's going on in DC. He already getting DC ready. That's why he getting all the bums and shit out of DC, and they already started doing it in Virginia. So act like you know what time we in. All right? The next thing they do is, you know, push in on the shores. So they got to create shit so that way we can get rid of, you know, the only entry points they got is what? Texas, California, right? Right? So the best thing, if this was war, if I was sitting at the war table, we watch our shipping supplies, right? Make sure none of our shipping routes get cut off. If you start watching water supplies get cut off, shipping routes get cut off, you know something going on, right? Pay attention. Act like you know the art of it. The art of this shit is plain and simple, right? Watch the borders. That's the only way they can come in is through the borders. So they will have to cause an effect on the borders first, right? Some type of tsunami, something like that. You know, maybe this whole Alaska earthquake is actually them working on some shit underground, and they created that earthquake underground so it could create a wave of water that can come this way and clear the shores of California. You ever think about that? Bet you never thought like that, did you? That they might use something like a tsunami to clear our shores so they can set up on the beaches? Yeah, that's how it works. Remember Troy, the Trojan horse? Come on, act like y'all know some shit. KGB style. Where you think that whole airplane explosion shit comes from? That's KGB methods. You take somebody out in the airplane. That's where that whole method comes from. But let me stop. Let me stop giving out too many secrets now. Some of y'all might not be in the know of this stuff. Let me stop giving out too many secrets, all right? And we are looking for some more mods. Feel free to come over to the Discord if anybody want to post a Discord. I need, you know, I would like to see some more people over in the Discord coming over to the Discord. So, yeah, you got Canada. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in Canada right now as far as the people that's set up in Canada right now. There's a lot of internet stuff going on right now. In fact, tomorrow morning when we do talk about the us being connected to the stars and so on and so forth, we got to talk about these solar flares. The solar flares are getting a little bit stronger. They are expecting a magnetic wave to hit the next couple of weeks. So they're expecting more power outages within the next couple of weeks. And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with this 3i Atlas comet getting closer to us. They said the prediction of the comet or whatever it is, this 3i Atlas, they said it was predicted to come in November, but now it's actually about to be here in a couple of weeks, right? I don't know how, you know, I can't say the truths of that. Allegedly, Allegedly, this thing is moving faster than what they thought it was. Okay, so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Chinese CMP is what we have to worry about. Okay, you're right. We might, but everybody would have to worry about an EMP. We wouldn't be the only ones that would have to worry about an EMP. See, the thing about an EMP is, unless they found a way to protect themselves from it, it wouldn't be no point of putting out an EMP because they would be affected. And China used more technology than what we use. So I don't think China should be worried about setting off an EMP due to the fact that they use technology and depend on technology a lot more than what we depend on it. Somebody said they can't wait. EMP is local, not worldwide. Yes, you're absolutely right. Depending on where you set the EMP off at, it could be controlled based on an area, right? But if they set one off, what's the stopping from everyone else setting one off, right? So as soon as you find out where it comes from, and then let's be honest, if we do move into a nuclear space or idea of a war, that's what they're talking about, right? I feel like we're already in a psychological battle. I feel like we're already at spiritual war, right? So you're talking about a physical confrontation. I feel like we're already battling right now. I feel like we're already fighting right now. There goes your live streaming, cuz. Why? You analyzing me? You analyzing me, looking for something that I said wrong? Is that what you telling me, Hank? Huh? Trump is opening up the door for freedom of speech. And here in America, that's what we have. Freedom of speech. And all we're doing is having a conversation here. And if you can't stand the conversation, then you go on ahead and you scroll past this page. Hey, Jersey Mike, you're not allowed to say stuff like that, Jersey Mike. That is your active sitting president right there that you speak of. But let's not hope he go to Moscow. Anything can happen if he go to Moscow. I hope he don't get bold and go to Moscow. That's one thing I do hope. I hope Trump is smart enough not to go to Moscow. I hope when Putin say let's meet, I hope Trump say let's make it a Skype meeting. You know what I mean? Let's make it a Skype meeting. We'll do it on a internet platform, something like that. What's going on from Jersey? What part of Jersey you from? South Jersey, North Jersey? The trenches? Winslow Township?
Dang, I really want that Benson card.
Okay. My city, Camden, New Jersey, CMD. Yeah, we heavy in Camden, East Camden. Shout out Myrtle Avenue, Myrtle Place Apartments, Federal Street. You know the places. I done moved all over Camden. From the Beta House to the Delta House to the, shout out Camden, New Jersey. Mount Ephraim is always busy. My grandma stayed off of Mount Ephraim, right next to Bonzo Middle School. Elementary.
Dude, this guy stayed rim running straight to the rack every time. Bro,
That's Pollock. Oh, you stay in Pollock. Pollock town. Hey, Trump is trying, man. I'll take a try. I'll take a try over a give up any day. Trump is trying. Trump is a trying man. He's trying to sit down at the table. And we can say, this is Trump's way of kissing ass. This is Trump's way of, because he favors Putin, whatever. You can say whatever. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Trump is trying and pushing towards an idea of peace. At least he's at the table, right? You can't come up with peace unless you get the people at the table, right? So at least he's putting the people at the table. Yes, the ceasefire didn't go through, and that was a bust, right? The ceasefire didn't go through, and that was a bust, right? But if Trump actually sits down and favors Putin's, monster side, if you would say, right? Then all he would have to do, I mean, if we really want peace, let's be honest. If Trump sat down and say, okay, I'm going to issue a warrant for Barack Obama, Putin would be all in for peace. You know what I mean? That's giving Putin what he wants, though. Because that's what Putin wants. Putin wants that type of level of obedience where he uses, the American, president as a puppet to secretly destroy us. That's what Putin wants. And he's going to, and whether we want to address it or not, whether we want to be honest about it or not, there is a certain level of, if you would say, manipulating right here, because you have two powers who are trying to appease one another through the powers that they have that stretches throughout the world, right? So they're trying to appease one another because this Ukraine thing, this Ukraine situation, this shit been long done and over with. Let's be honest. This Ukraine situation been done long and over with, right? The real thing that they're sitting down at the table and sitting and trying to speak about is he's trying to, smooth through Putin so they can get at the table with China, right? That's what Trump is going to do. Get at the table with China, speak on certain things like that, right? And then it's India, right? So when we're looking at this, I think we're looking at the smaller things that might possibly come out of this, right? But Trump and his administration has a bigger goal in this. And they're saying that it's peace. And I do think that certain parameters around this might have something to do with peace, right? But it's their peace. It might not mean peace for us. It might mean a piece for them. A piece of something. Somebody getting a piece of something out of this, Oh, there's nothing to talk about. Get your troops out of Ukraine is all you need to tell him. Is that on which side? On which side? Because people searching every day. Artifacts, all types of stuff is being found all the time. Everybody's not going after the same peace that you think. When somebody say peace, when somebody say all they want is peace, right? That means they want they peace. It's part of the trick of words. The Baphomet, going back to Latin, it's a spell that's in the word. So when people talk about peace, you gotta come to a realization what peace they talking about. Everybody not just talking about, when they say peace, they talking about a peace. All I want is peace. All I want is peace. Yeah, a peace. This world is very tricky, You learn the way of this world. If you play the game of Risk, you'll learn a lot more about this world. All you gotta do is go play the game Risk, and you'll learn more about this world. Fran said, you are all fooled by this. How so? Hate me for it, but if it is what it is. Okay. Must be a real nice golf course. Hey, Alaska look nice, don't it? Alaska look nice. They is not on no land. They is not on ice or nothing. I see green pastures in the background. They probably go golfing up in Alaska all the time. You know what? I'm starting to think this whole cold shit is just in our mind. I'm starting to think this whole freezing ice, all of this shit. Somebody lying to us, man. I seen greenery in Antarctica, man. I seen Antarctica looking nice as hell. You know? So I don't know. Somebody ain't telling us everything. Looks like New York. Well, Buffalo is one big club, and you ain't in it. Hey, you ain't in it either. That's why you over here with me now. That's why you over here with me, because you ain't in it either. No, I'm unaware of the seasons of the world. The last time I checked, Alaska was in darkness. Certain parts of Alaska is in darkness for 6 months, and it has light for 6 months. I know that much. Did you see the picture where Trump had soldiers laying on the ground, fixed the red carpet for that? Yeah, Trump did roll out the red carpet and everything for him. It has light for 2 months. Here's Carla Lucky. The Devil. Darkness 180 days. Negative 54 degrees. Yikes. Is it Antarctica? It's Alaska in the summer. No, they're in Alaska right there in this picture. At Alaska base, America base in Alaska. Blessings family, by the way. North Pole, Alaska. Okay. North Pole, Alaska in the building. Now, is it 6 months of light and 6 months of darkness? Because I seen you put 2 months of light. Out of respect, how do you start negotiation if you don't show respect? You're right, you can't. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, you know, how he went about it, rolling out the carpets, everything like that. You know, no 6 months of light, 180 days of darkness. All right, so what's going on for the other half? Still waiting. Loving sounds more like you just yelling stuff. I don't see myself yelling stuff, but hey, life is your perception. So if you perceive this to be yelling, then by all means, I'm yelling. I don't know how else to, you know, lower my voice for you. I have that type of voice that echoes. So I don't know how else to like soften my voice to favor you. But I apologize if you think that I'm yelling. Other half is Black Knight. Oh, you weren't talking to me. Oh, okay. Well, I don't see how that person's yelling. They're typing stuff in the comment section. Was they in all caps? Unless that's what it was. Did you see somebody in all caps? I don't know. I have to scroll back too far. Russia has military bases in the Arctic. I think a lot of people have some military bases all over the place. I mean, That's why I say you guys got to go and look at the Great Awakening map. Go look at the different breakdowns that it gives you. And like I said, for entertainment purposes only, this is not a force. But if you look at some of the stuff that's on here, Earth's alliances, ISIS defunded, the calm before the storm. The storm is military stands behind Trump, right? If you look at the calm before the storm, and then you see where it says the storm, if you follow that arrow from the storm, it goes to military stands behind Trump, right? If you look at, a lot of this stuff, it has Melania in it. It tells you Melania, so on and so forth. A lot of this stuff is a prediction of things that could possibly be taking place in the time of change, right? So a lot of stuff is changing right now, and it just aligns with, the Great Awakening and everything like that. Like a lot of stuff that's happening right now, solar flares, so on and so forth, it just seems to be aligned with, the Great Awakening, and it just seems to have something to do with everything that's going on. Namaste, Ashe, salutation, shalom, peace. Appreciate you for stopping through. There's a bit of truth in stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like there's a bit of truth in all of it, and if you allow yourself to see it, you see it. Those who will. Those who won't. Timothy McCann, what's going on with you? Russia wants the grip of the Black Sea. This increases the dangers. East, West, split in Europe. Zero facts or logics. Hey, I appreciate it. You said we have zero facts or logics. But ironically, if you look up some of the stuff that we're talking about, you will see that some of the things that we are saying is facts. And the fact that you can't see logic in this conversation only means that you operate on feelings and emotions. That's why you are absent of seeing logic, because logic comes from one's person. You can't see logic in this conversation unless logic dwells within inside of you. And the reason why you can't find the logic in the world is because logic is not inside of you. That has nothing to do with me or anybody else that is in this space. It has everything to do with you. Putin has the Epstein video. That's funny right there. Now, Putin did say he was going to put out the Pangea map. That's, the Pangea map is a big thing. That's how conspiracy works. Yup, Louisiana Purchase. Distortion of truth. If you can explain how one is distorting the truth, then you can say someone is distorting the truth. But I don't think we're talking truth when speculation is involved, right? So we're just speculating. But however you want to perceive this conversation to be is how you perceive it, and you're welcome to do that. Please don't run away. Prove one of the claims on your conspiracy board. Go ahead. What do you mean by saying prove it? When you say prove it, like show you a document or show you some type of proof of it? Let me see, what can I pull up? What can I pull up? What can I show you? I don't know what I can pull up. I don't know what to show you. I don't know what can prove it. Like, you see what's going on in the ocean. If you look at, what's going on in space, you'll see that the Atlas comet literally, not the Atlas comet, but the Lucifer comet actually entered back into the Lyran constellation as of 4/20 of last year. You can also see that, there's 88 constellations of the sky. You can also see different variations of knowledge coming back out. You see different variations of energies moving. The Schumann resonator, they told you that the southern waters have changed, and possibly the time has sped up. They also said that We seem to be hurling through our galaxy, maybe on a collision with another galaxy. So I don't know what part of it you would like for me to prove, but you can look some of this stuff up for yourself. They're telling you that the Sumerian gods might have returned, which is the Anunnakis, which is Enki and Lil, and so on and so forth. They're telling you that the three-eye atlas, 12-mile, spear is moving through the damn universe, headed this way and hiding itself from the sun, and it's going to use the sun to hide behind as it passes us so we can't see it. They're telling you that aliens are coming out of the ocean or lives in the ocean. Like, these are all things that are part of these awakening maps, and all things that are a part of the conspiracy theories column and collective group talking. Like, all the things that they're revealing to you right now, Operation Fishbowl, so on and so forth, with the Congresswoman Luna actually going on Joe Rogan and speaking on some of the things that we talk about. Like, that shows you that we are supposed to be in full disclosure right now of certain variations of knowledge that's out there, right? Yeah, we didn't get the Epstein files yet, but I don't know. I think we might be, in the time of the Aquarius sky, like they said. I don't know. Now a lot of people might look at everything I said and say, man, he's just ranting and raving. But if you actually take the time to take one piece of something that I said and looked it up, you will see that it actually holds truth. You're yet to give me factual support to any of these things. The factual support comes when you look it up yourself. Why should I do the work for you? And I don't think it doesn't matter how much stuff I look up. You're going to start discrediting the people that I show you the information is coming from. You're gonna be like, oh, that's Zachariah Stitchens. He's a nutcase. And oh, this person and that. And you can't believe that. And oh, Carrie Perry, nobody listens to them anymore. Like, I don't think it matters what I say. You're gonna change the goalposts every chance you get. But if you look it up yourself, you might actually be able to hold something. If you look it up yourself, you might be able to actually take it all in. You said, too bad you assume I don't do my own research. Same goal. Okay, if you did your own research, then you wouldn't be in here talking to me, because you will know that the solar flares are affecting the body through a form of solar synthesis. Just like the plants go through photosynthesis, we go through solar synthesis, and the solar flares are affecting our body, thus far affecting our DNA and affecting fire letter codes that are in the DNA that could be sparking or waking up different chromosomes that was not active previously, thus far allowing you to have different abilities or to access different fragments of thought that are according to your Akashic records. So I don't know if you actually just study or you just say you study some shit, but if you actually study some shit, then you wouldn't be in here asking the questions that you're asking, and you wouldn't be saying the things that you're saying. You would actually have to, it's only bullshit to those who don't look it up. All you have to do is look some of this stuff up. You could look it up yourself. Out of your 12 strands of DNA, you're only using 3 to 4 of them. And out of the 3 or 4, only 23 chromosomes are firing when it should be 36 chromosomes firing in three DNA strands. But when you look at it, we actually have 144 chromosomes within inside of our 12 DNA strands. Each 12 DNA strands have 12 within inside of it, and a total of 144 chromosomes. And when the Bible and everything says the 144 will awaken, it was talking about the Lee lines and the chromosomes, or the 12 DNA strands. So inside your body, you have 24 total chakras, 12 within inside of 12, right? So at duality, as you would say, that's where the 24 hours of the day comes, right? And then outside of you, there is 60 with 60. That's the planet, the sides that the planet sit on. 60 on this side, 60 on that side. That's where the clock comes from, right? And then that's 120. If you add the 120 with your 24 DNA, DNA strands, duality, 12 with 12, right? 24 with the 120 that's of this world, you have a total of 144. This is what the as above, so below, as without, so within concept is. So as without, so within, as there is chakra systems and vibrations outside of you, there is also chakra systems and vibrations inside of you. They tell you this all the time. You just got to study the right stuff. When you look at, the Baphomet, some of the stuff that Allison Crowley studied, some of the stuff that the Vatican keeps, out of circulation. There was books, many books that talked about the first century and the learnings of the first century. I can show you, Apollonius was wrote about in the first century. And then a lot of the knowledge of Apollonius was lost during the Alexandria library fire. Apollonius is the first century Christ.
I just got banned for saying you.
Apollonius is the first century Christ. It's either it's spelled Apollonius, but it's like pronounced Apacheanus, something like that. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste, Ashe, salutation, shalom. Oh man. So the one man that's loved is Putin, and the other man that told people. Who told us? Wait, one man is loved by his people and the rest of the world, and the other man told. Okay. What about the people that are missing a chromosomes? Then that's where salt comes in, right? There's certain salts and stuff that you can put back into your body to put back together your nervous system. There's certain digestive diets that people are supposed to be on. Once you start learning what your vessel operates on and what you need to put back in your vessel, you'll put the proper things back in your vessels that you need, so on and so forth. So really, you're not missing anything, because as long as you have an altar, which is a tongue, to be able to take something to, you should be putting the right minerals and stuff in your body to adjust to whatever it is. And I can show you a list of these minerals for each zodiac sign if you would like. I mean, these are the leaders, whether they're figureheads or not. Like you say, like somebody loved them. Somebody loves them. They're in the position that they're in, especially with Trump. Like I said, you got this whole, play on the world. That's why I say the world is one big stage. I think this is a lot stranger than fiction. I think we don't give credit to how this world actually works. I mean, the choreographing of the whole pew-pewing of Trump, the fact that they grazed his ear, representing a sign of, the Illuminati. If anybody like not the Illuminati, but you know, a secret society. But if anybody like read books like the Behold the Pale White Horse, or you know, so on and so forth, um, you will know that these were certain signs, right? That means when he showed the blood on the ear, that means that he's the last uh, acting president. So he's saying that he's the last heir, right? That's what he's saying. He's the last heir, right? That's why the pew pew, the right ear, the blood on the right ear, all of that was so choreographed. Like you could literally see how choreographed it was. Him pumping his fist in the air 3 times as he get carried off. Like when I say the world is one big stage, that the world is one big stage. That's all. The world is one big stage. Signs and symbols rule the world. Exactly. Signs and symbols rule the world. If you've seen the signs and you recognize the symbols, then you knew what he was talking about. For those who didn't recognize the signs and the symbols, then you might not have understood what happened, right? You might not have understood what happened. You take it I went to public school. No, I didn't go to public school. But I could tell you went to public school. I could definitely tell you went to public school. Yeah, just by your lack of, just by your will to show ignorance, I could tell you went to public school. Yeah, probably ahead of your class. You know, probably showed up every morning for breakfast. Made sure you never missed a lunch period. You know. Recess was your favorite subject. Putin's puppy dog. I don't know, man. We're there. This is a battle of the minds right here. You know, this is a battle of the minds. Like I always will say, like Trump does, despite Trump's arrogance, despite you know a lot of the stuff, he does have some highly intellectual people around him that are analyzing the body language of Putin, right? You know, so they analyze the body language, the standoffish ways. And on the other hand, it is the same way too. You know, you can tell that Trump was actually favoring Putin. Is it a hospitality thing? Is it a rolling out the carpets, trying to be nice, diplomatic, whatever you want to call it, or is it a little bit more than that? Is he like showing that he's a fan? However you want to look at this, right? So it could be looked at both ways. I think, being at the table, sitting at the table to be able to hash out or at least have some conversations, this could put us at the table with China, Putin has strong ties with Kim Jong-un, right? This could put us at the table with maybe a conversation with them as far as peace goes, right? Now, here in America, we are scary, right? Let's be honest, we're scary, right? So a lot of y'all are going to say, no, they're our enemies. This is going to end bad. They're plotting on us. And I think it is our paranoia that gets the best of us all the time. It's the reason why we never sat down at the table in the first place, is because we're too paranoid, right? We know that America is a stolen land, right? So the same way that we got it is the same way we think we're going to lose it. So everybody here is in the mindset of thinking, that somebody's out to get something, right? Because, America and certain other countries came from a takeover type, came from, that type of mindset. So now that we are in a time where people would try to, have some levels of peace, right? We can't really understand that because we come from a mindset of fear, a mindset of that, fight, struggle, combatants, right? So, and like I said, this letter that she put out there. Um, Let me see. It says, dear President Putin, every child shares the same quiet dream in their heart, whether born randomly into a nation's rustic countryside or a magnificent city center. They dream of love, possibilities, and safety from danger. As parents, it is our duty to, hold on, I can't see this word because it's all blurry. Let me see if I can get it better. It is our duty to nurture the next generation's hope as leaders, the responsibility to sustain our children's existence beyond the comfort of a few. Undeniably, we must strive to paint a dignity-filled world for all, so that every soul may walk. Okay, hold on. This shit blurry as hell. So that every soul may wake to peace, and so that the future itself is perfectly guarded. A simple yet profound concept, Mr. Putin, as I am sure you agree, is that each generation, descendants begin their lives with a purity as innocent which stands above demographics, government, and ideology. Yet, in today's world, some children are forced to carry a quiet laughter, untouched by the darkness around them, a silent deflects against the forces that can potentially claim their future. Mr. Putin, you can single-handedly restore their, what is it, melodramatic laughter? Oh, melanated. What? Our true history and what are the far greater things. I can't believe that he passed on this damn letter. Why did Trump pass this letter on? Like, this letter was going to speak to his heart. In protecting the innocent of these children, you will do more than serving Russia alone. You are serving humanity. Such as bold idea transcends all humans, divisions in you. And you got to think about this. They're not telling you nothing that goes on in Ukraine. They not telling you about the secret labs and stuff where, American was paying to fund them to, hold experiments on people, so on and so forth. They not talking about that. So when you pass Putin a letter, regarding certain things, and he already knows the heinous acts on both sides of this, right? That's asinine and redundant to pass him a letter talking about, the future generations and so on and so forth. Because if that was the case, everybody wouldn't be playing all of these espionage games, supporting this side, giving Trump to that side. The letter from Melania to Putin, yeah, the letter. The letter, yes. She says Putin, and she says his name about 4 or 5 times in the letter. She says, Mr. Putin, I'd like to implement this version 2 stroke of today. It is it time? Is it time? Melania Trump, the White House. Why? Why did you pass this letter? First Lady of the United States of America. She stamped this shit and everything. Oh, y'all want to still talk about the DNA and how the DNA is changing and chromosomes are waking up inside the vessels with the fire codes and so on and so forth, and how the RNDNA that was given to us by our mother is considered some seeds, and those seeds are now waking and is considered to be enlightenment, knowledge, and wisdom, and the universe is talking to us through the sun. You want to talk about that? No? That's too much? All right, we're going to save that lesson for tomorrow. And today, we're going to talk about Trump. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about moon stars and quasars. Okay? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the moon stars and quasars and how our soul is connected to different star systems. Okay? If you know which star system you from, that's great. You have been doing research. You're connected with your, galactic family, so on and so forth. For the people who don't know who their galactic family is, make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you follow. We probably can get you some information. Well, actually, you're going to get yourself the information because only you know about you. You know what traits your family comes with. You know the things that are inside of you that holds true to you. So listen, scientists is coming out with this right now. They just now did a study, or they just now came out with the information saying that they found a portal and our souls are connected to star colonies and so on and so forth. So, Allison Crowley had to get that knowledge or information from somewhere to manipulate people with it, because he manipulated people with part of the truth. So whether he might have, got that knowledge and used it wrongly, but it doesn't mean that knowledge that he used was wrong. Just because he used it wrongly doesn't mean that the knowledge was wrong. The only thing that should be inside of you is the Holy Ghost. There's some people out there that would beg to differ. Some people out there that's not in control of their hormones right now, and we might be living in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I'm pretty sure when you say what should be inside of you, people can name some things that they can put in you. I'm talking in it. You know what I'm talking about? Hey Jay, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking in it. You know what I'm talking about? No? You don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. Never mind. We have always have portals. You shed your physical body and soul travels through. That. Yeah, but a lot of this knowledge wasn't given to us. A lot of this stuff wasn't given to us, So you gotta think about it. You know what I'm saying? What you're saying, like a lot of this stuff wasn't given to us. So therefore, the people who did pick up on it, the people who study like the Baphomet or Allison Crowley or stuff like that, they studied it through the eyes of, of a low vibrational persona that took it and manipulated the world, So when you hear this information again, it's like, oh, that comes from the study of, Allison Crowley. And that's because that's who used it in order to, trick the world, But the studies of this was being used way before him, You go back to Plato's, you go back to, Aristotle, you go back to Socrates, you go back to some of them, it was used way before him, You go back to the 1st century, you gotta remember that the Christian Bible wasn't written until 16th century, something like that. Before that, they argued a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It was just arguments, speculated arguments. A lot of people sat down at the table and argued why, Apollonius wasn't depicted as Christ, and why did they depict, JC as the ideal picture of Christ, and, how the martyrdom system came about, and how the Council of Nicaea, depicted the 144 as, personas instead of depicting it as, essence of energies inside the vessel. So instead of telling you that these are part of your DNA and these are inside of you, they depicted them as personas outside of you in a physical journey. And everybody choose their method of how they wanted to tell the story. The Jewish people chose to tell the story from a spiritual perspective. The Muslims decided to tell it from a mental perspective. And then the Christians decided to tell it from a physical perspective. But all of them told the same story of the journey of the body, the journey of mind, body, and spirit. Each one of them took each one of them took a part to write the story from. So Jews wrote it from a spiritual perspective, saying that we are, light water, dark water with cherubs broken up inside of us, so on and so forth. The Muslim decided to write it from a mental perspective, saying that a jihad will take place inside of the vessel and people can have a jinn spirit inside of them and so on and so forth. And then the Bible decided to write it from a physical perspective, telling you about the 72 demons of the soul of man. Mind, body, and spirit. All of them just chose a piece of what they wanted to write it from. But all of us talking about the same thing. All of us talking about your vessel. All of us talking about your body. And those who like playing the game, y'all make sure y'all hit the follow button and stick around. We will be playing the game later on. Probably stream a little bit of Call of Duty later on. Trump got his ear hit from some plastic. Hey, Trump healed up quick as hell, didn't he? That man said, I ain't even gonna talk about that no more. I did a whole, talking about that when it happened. Putin clowned Trump again. Yeah, it did look like Putin played in our face again. That's what it looks like. It looked like he played in our face again. And I think we still at the table though. Trump's administration is getting on him about this one. Especially, I'm not sure if I ain't look it up yet. I couldn't find if it's true yet. I don't know if they're suppressing the knowledge of it, but I think Putin went back and let off some more drone bombs. If I'm not mistaken. I think he did go back and let off some more drone bombs, just as a way to say, like, F you. You know what I mean? It's another slap in the face to the American diplomacy, And his people get a big laugh out of it, They get to drink, and laugh, drink and laugh, But I don't know. Maybe they thought that letter would do something. Maybe they thought it would do something. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. If you go back far enough, right? During the first election, when Donald Trump was asked about his taxes and stuff like that, and he wouldn't turn over certain paperwork, there was a lot of messages that was from a KGB bank, right? So I don't know if they had loaned Donald Trump some money or was, but he got a lot of messages on a particular fax line that had a lot of messages from a Russian bank that was tied to the KGB. They spoke about it about 2 times, and then they kind of like just pushed it under the carpet and just stopped talking about it. You know, whether or not he owed them some money or took a loan from them or whatever. So he you know, yeah, Trump is 6'2". Trump is 6'2". Putin is 5'7". Isn't she from there? That's what I'm saying. I don't know if this was like her writing a letter to an old friend type shit. You know? This could have been like her writing a letter to an old friend, somebody she knew. Like, this is like, you don't, because you can't just, unless you knew this person or whatever, you ain't about to just write no freaking letter to this person. What, sounds like they knew each other, like, sounds like she was like, here, pass this letter along. He's an old friend of mine. One of those type things. That's what it seems like. Trump get things done, important things. Yeah, you right. Trump get things done. You right. Now, whether or not it's important or not, we can, based on whose importancy, based on whose importancy, because that what's important to one person might not be important to the next person, So when you say important shit, you ain't really naming nothing. You just saying Trump got some important shit done. We really still ain't see the effects of this tariff yet, right? But I think if Trump get on board with this, fill-in.com idea that I got, where American people fill in for other American people, thus far accumulating hours and, changing the unemployment rate. If Trump get on board with that, then this tariff thing might actually work out. You know what I'm saying? If Trump get on board, with this whole fill-in.com idea, and, we start putting together this billion-dollar corporation that puts, American people back to work, because that's what this really is about. And until we have a system, and no, this is not like a temp agency, so on and so forth, this is actually different than a temp agency, so you can't think of this as like a temp agency. It's not a temp agency. So yeah. So it's not that. We can't look at it as that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Why are they so worried about my numbers? That's weird. These people on YouTube is weird.
Boy, frick, boy. You messing with me, boy?
Somebody said 38K views, 100 likes and 38K views, while other videos barely get a couple hundreds. Why are you worried about what my numbers are? Like, that's weird. Well, y'all gotta do better than that. Y'all gotta do better than that.
Right.
Y'all clocking my numbers and sending me messages about it. Listen, I do the same thing y'all do. I pick a title, I pick a topic, and I press the live button, right? However many people come through there, that's how many people come through there. I'm not out here worried about what numbers y'all doing. So please, let's not do that. Um, the handshake is a Masonic handshake, right? The fact that they are not facing one another, they are both facing forward with the handshake. It's not like they face one another, right? So the handshake says a lot, right? There's a lot around this whole thing that opens up the door to say, like, a lot was said, you know? There's a lot that's around this whole thing that ain't been said yet, you know? Um, the bombers that was let off, that was a show of power right there. He put them in the air to show power right there. Like, hey, man, you know how close you is. This is an American base right here. And we can have these bombers over top of your crib by the weekend. You know? That's what that's saying to me. You put some B-2 stealth bombers out there, you know what I mean? You put them B-2 stealth bombers out there just to fly past somebody's shit. You know what I'm saying? you already in Alaska, and you show that man the B-2 stealth bomber, like, hey, don't get froggy. You know what I'm saying? This is like a don't be a menace into society type move right here. Don't be a menace in society while drinking your juice in the hood type move right here. Where Marlon Wayne showing that big ass thing in the back of that mail truck. That man done pulled out the big thing and put that out there and was like, here you go. What you think about this? Flew it over top of his head. Y'all should have seen how shocked Putin was when he was looking above him. When Putin was looking above him, when he flew it over his head, Putin was shocked. You got meth? You got some meth? So what y'all think? Do y'all think something's gonna come out of this? We not really gonna hear nothing until Monday, right? Monday we might hear something. But what y'all think's gonna come out of this? I think maybe a later sit down. I think a later sit down might come out of this, right? Now, I'm not suggesting that Trump goes to Moscow. I'm not. Listen. This dude Putin he practicing dark arts. All right, he really practicing the dark arts. A lot of people might not understand what I'm talking about, but some people know what I'm talking about. Right? The elites know what I'm talking about. Right? Black magic, dark art magic, so on and so forth. He practicing the dark arts. Okay? You see how many he had up there? Like, he put it on display. You know what I'm saying? He like, look, these are just a couple of my toys. These is just a couple of my toys. And, this is not including the drone activity, right? Because they got drone schools. You know what I mean? They got drone classes. So, they studying high, with these drones. And then like I said, You know, you got some other people that are speaking on the Trump situation too. There's some other, you know, characters that are speaking on the Trump situation, you know, regarding Trump. So, you got a couple of, you know, people that are sitting down at the table ahead of Trump that are trying to put forth this conversation of peace or reconciliation, as you would say, right? Because no one's really going to be at peace, right? Now, both parties would have to come up with some type of agreement on, you know, what is and this, that, and the third. Trump was pushing for a ceasefire. Maybe he didn't get the ceasefire, okay? We didn't get the ceasefire, guys. We didn't get the ceasefire. But just maybe, we can get the peace, right? Maybe Putin had to have the last laugh by going to let off some more bombs, right? But it still doesn't stop the table that is created around the peace, right? It still doesn't stop that table. Because even though we didn't get the ceasefire, we still might get peace, right? So now that everybody is circulating the conversation, passing it on to their, you know, respective parties, you know, respective sides or whatever, you know, that drone situation could have been Putin just saying like, you know, since you wanted to, you know, fly bombers over my head, let me bomb something. You know what I mean? That's what that was. That just sounds like one of those acts of defiance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you wanted to, oh, okay. Before we talk about this peace, let me get this last strike off. That sounds what happened. You know? That sounds more so what happened, that Putin was like, let me get this last strike off before we negotiate this peace, you know? By Monday, everything's going to be, you know, in the direction of peace, but let me get this last strike off before we decide this. That's what I'm thinking he did. I know they met at a military base. Duh. I know where they met at. We ain't talking about where they met at. We're talking about what happened after the summit Friday. You want to talk about what happened after the summit Friday? Huh? Do you? Do you think that we can play those games, Mary Jane? You said this was indo. Smell like outdoor. Man, do you think that we can play those games, Mary Jane? Y'all gotta lighten up, man, when it comes to conversations, man. Having a conversation is not the end of the world. When you have a conversation, you're having a conversation about something. Everyone should, you know, be open-minded about it. Don't, you know, I'm not asking you, I'm not trying to force something out of you that's not there, you know, but everybody needs to answer this question. Who do you think is in control? In the comment section, come on, who's in control? One name or the other, Putin or Trump. In the comment section right now, Putin or Trump, Putin or Trump. I don't know if any of my mods in here, if they can make a poll real quick, but Putin or Trump. Okay, we see one for Putin. Somebody on TikTok said God is in control. YouTube, somebody on TikTok said God. You see how they wanted to add somebody to the equation that I didn't even put on the table? You see how they do? You see how they just add a C? C ain't even on there. All of the above wasn't even one of the answers. And all of the above. KTB? You mean KGB. It's KGB. Unless you're talking about King James translational Bible. That might be what you talk about. You might be talking about the King James translation of Bible, huh? Max Headroom. Don't know. South Park says the truth. Okay. A lot of people are saying Putin. A lot of people are saying Putin. So are y'all saying that Trump is like Putin's lapdog? Because I don't believe that, man. Trump is trying, right? Maybe we can try too. Maybe we can be nicer to each other in America, so that way, we can help out. And if we just be more positive towards each other, if we just be more caring towards each other, right? It might help out to this whole peace thing, you know? Maybe we should take the peace challenge, you know? Maybe we should take this challenge of peace and try to be at peace with one another. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should turn this into a peace challenge and just be more at peace with one another, right? If you're a white person, go have a meal with a black person. If you're a black person, go high five a white person. If you're a Chinese person, go teach math to a black kid. I don't know. I don't know the things that y'all can do to be at peace, but maybe we should try it. Maybe we should get a bunch of videos circulating around of us trying to be more at peace with one another. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a whole week where everybody go out and do peaceful shit. Can we get that? We got all these holidays within the months and shit like that. Can we get a whole week where everybody just go out and do nice shit? Nobody can't do nothing fucked up for a whole week. Can we do that? Can we start some shit like that? I think that would be amazing. If 1 week out the year, nobody in the world can do no fucked up shit. For 1 week out the year, nobody in the world. You gotta be nice to everybody. You can't even speak no fucked up shit for that week. I think that would be a beautiful week. You know? I think that would be a beautiful week. Of course, you're gonna have people that try to sneak in curse words and, sneak in some hateful shit in that week. Somebody gonna try to find a way around it by writing it down or, can't afford those days. That costs too much, huh? Sound like a whole year's worth of work. Kevin Parks. I think it would be a great idea. At least 1 day a week, right? Something. We got to make it. We got to do something. We got to do something. I ain't gonna hold y'all. We got to do something. Pick 1 day out the week and be nice to each other. Pick 1 day out the week and care for one another. I think that'd be amazing. I think instead of having a purge, maybe we should have 1 day out the week where people care. I think that'd be beautiful. It just sounds good. Did you realize that you are a champion? Yeah, right. Yes, I did. So I packed it up and brought it back to the crib. Just a little something to show you how we did. Everybody wanted, but it ain't that serious. Here, I got some music for y'all. I know y'all gonna like this. Y'all gonna like this, YouTube. Atlas Family Music Productions. Tap the screen. Hey, hit that thumbs up button. If y'all can find that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button.
on them streets, but it's caught between them lies. Who be grifting, who cheats, who be sending round them spies.
Beef on top of beef.
All day, every day, troublemakers put on display. Do you want some black tea? Won't you come and take a sip? We serving black tea, but be careful not to slip. Black tea, taste of drama real good. Do you want some black tea in the YT neighborhood? Black tea, you feel me? Black tea, black tea. Won't you come and take a sip? We serving black tea, but be careful not to slip. Black tea, taste of drama real good. Do you want some black tea in the YT neighborhood? Do you want some black tea? Won't you come and take a sip? We serving black tea, but be careful not to slip. Black tea, taste of drama real good. Do you want some black tea in the YT neighborhood?
Do y'all think
Black tea, black tea. Do you want some black tea?
so? Do y'all think World War III is inevitable, or do we got a chance to avoid it? Because this is like, you know, the direction this is going in. It's like Battle of the Eagles. Because it seems to stop. It seems to stop being about the people a long time ago. You know, it don't seem to be about the people no more.
It's so hot, I had to pull out that move.
No, you didn't.
Huh?
No, you didn't have to pull out that move. Put that move away.
It's hot.
It's not. Okay, it is hot. Yeah. Trump will end Ukraine war in 2 weeks. Is that 2 weeks from now, or like, are you counting some days that already took place? Are you saying like 2 weeks from now, it'll be over with by the time we get into October? I mean September. January. Man, that's 6 months. That's like 4 months from now, my God. What's your 2 weeks is different. You come with a different set of 2 weeks. That's why you about to get kicked off of Roblox.
Man? Are you talking about the band?
Yeah.
Oh well. It's not my money that was wasted.
Whose money was it?
Yours?
Oh. Yeah, that's how you feel?
No, but there might be a refund.
No, I'm saying, but that's how you feel though? That's how you feel about all the money that I spent on you on stuff?
No, I'm just speaking the facts.
So you don't care because it's not your money?
I do, but you're saying that's why I'm gonna kick off a Roblox. But in reality, you're the one losing more than I am.
All right, so how about I stop spending money on the foolish things that you into?
Well, maybe don't give me money for Roblox.
What? I didn't give you money for Roblox. I told you that I was playing for your Xbox Pass. You literally...
Oh, you didn't.
Exactly. See?
This is the...
Your brother gave you money for Roblox. I told you that I played for the Xbox.
Well, you had gave money for Roblox before. So still. And Bubba doesn't care about $20, so it's not really a waste to him.
It's not a waste to him, but we got to look at all the money I gave you.
But Fortnite's not getting banned no time soon, so all the money you gave me isn't a waste. Well, unless I can get my PlayStation turned on.
Well, you got 3 Fortnite accounts that I spent money on.
No.
Yes. You spent money on the on the PC Fortnite, the Xbox Fortnite, and the PlayStation Fortnite.
Nope, that was Mina.
So you didn't buy nothing. You didn't buy nothing.
No.
Hold on, 7. I remember you saying you wanted the battle pass for the PC Fortnite because I had bought you the battle pass for that one, but you wanted it on this one because this one played faster, all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I bet you from here on out. Matter of fact, you gotta start doing chores now.
I've been told you I would, and you kept calling me a lie.
You don't never do them. I made a list of chores. I made a list of chores, and you never.
When?
When did I make a list of chores?
Yeah.
You don't even know about the list of chores?
No.
So that's how much you ignored it.
If you told me about the list of drawers, I would have been a billionaire at this point.
I literally put a list on the refrigerator and said,
It's
mark it.
manga?
I said, mark it off when you do the chores, so that way I know you did it, so I can know you get paid.
I don't remember that.
How'd you just know the location then?
I remember.
Yo, you can't even lie fast enough.
No, but I remember you putting something up, but I thought it was for groceries, like stuff that was needed.
That was stuff I needed. I needed you to sweep the floors. I needed you to clean, you know what I'm saying? Take out the trash. Y'all had simple jobs, y'all couldn't do it. Take out the trash once a week. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Sorry about that. Revelations 22:16. Well, if you're going to read Revelations, why not read Revelation 17, 1-7, right? Why not read that? Mystery Babylon. Why not go into that? That tells a story about the prostitute that sit by the waters. It even goes on to tell you that the waters is the people, the multitude, the nations, and the languages, right? And let's not get into Admiral Byrd, right? Flying into Hollow Earth, his diary saying, certain variations of things, right? said that, according to this, he was taking, or, some said form of it, he was taking a explosive device back to Alaska to blow something up, right? So what story do you want? Is his studies still being looked at? Is they still studying in these areas? Because there's so many studies that's going on across this world, you know? That's why I say this is a great place to be. I hope you guys hit the follow button. I mean, not the follow button. We're going to get into this too, which is a polyonist. We're going to get into this later into the week. We're going to break down this story of the Essenes and Christ and who was depicted as the first Christ versus who they choose to be the depiction of Christ, and so on and so forth. We'll go through some of that and breaking down some of that stuff. We got a lot of stuff to look forward to, people. A lot of stuff, a lot of studies that we're going to get into, a lot of different things from emerald tablets to, Zachariah stitchings and everything like that. Don't forget, we also still have to keep track of the McDonald's situation. Right now, her lawyers are putting in a 7:30 to see if she is competent enough to stand trial. They are hoping to get this whole situation pushed under mental health or some variation of it. And there's a lot of cases that are happening in this, a lot of cases that are happening that are actually due to mental health that they are not speaking on, that are happening in this world. People are biting heads off in Atlanta, in LA, so on and so forth. Also, we want to talk about the weather satellites being taken down. This is going to change the moderation of weather. We're not going to be able to have, fast tracking on some of the changes in the weather. And at a time that our weathers are changing so dramatically, we damn near got to watch out for a geostorm at this time, the way the weathers are changing so dramatically. And we'll still have the conversation about different variations of things such as this. So we got a lot of different conversations that we are going to have over here on this platform, Ralph Dawise. So make sure that you follow, make sure that you subscribe to the page, hit the thumbs up button if you like any of this stuff, or if you care to talk about any of this stuff. We are going to get into flat earth, round earth. We're going to open up books, people. Okay, we're going to get into flat earth, round earth, and the different because these were some of these maps are old maps, historical 100-year plus maps that shows the earth to be flat, certain variation of knowledge, Putin said he's going to put out the Pangea map, so on and so forth. So yeah, we're locked in over here. We're going to get into the Three-Eye Atlas comet, keep track of that, of when it's getting closer, everything like that. So, like I said, y'all make sure y'all tune in. Y'all make sure y'all stick around. Make sure y'all hit that follow button or that subscribe button, depending on what page you on. You are a mod, just on the other, I don't know.
Can I be a mod?
You ain't even in my chat. You ain't even in my chat to be a mod.
If I'm in your chat, can I be a mod? What do mods do?
What do mods do?
Yeah. But most of the time when I watch a TikTok live, when someone tells their mod to do something, they literally just pin a comment. That's it. They pin comments.
Oh, you want to be a mod on TikTok? Being a mod on TikTok is easier than
Dang it. Somebody killed me. Oh, they pay. That is not cool. Boy, ain't it hot.
Ain't what hot.
Out here.
Where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. You're gonna have to go to before settings. This 3-eye atlas situation. Yeah, this is current. This is current. Yeah, we currently keeping track of this too, yes. This is current. On top of everything else, yes. So we're gonna be keeping track. There's so much stuff happening in this world. Like, we keeping track of all of this, yes. Atlas Network and family is keeping track of all of this. Projected to be passing behind our sun in November. But the latest update said 3 weeks. The latest update says 3 weeks. So it could be passing by within, the next 3 weeks. I'm not sure. The thing is moving so fast. And right now we have a lot of electro-geo storms coming in right now. There's a lot of geo storms coming in right now. Right? So, we got to be very, very, very cautious right now with everything that's happening. It could be something strange, but it don't look good. Who you gonna call? This is not. Cows are flying over the moon? What? Take a picture. Take a picture. Cows are flying over the moon. You better get a snapshot of that. Get that snapshot of that. That's big right there. Like I said, just make sure y'all, hit the hit that follow button. Hit that sub button. Make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all might want to put y'all notifications on. The world is actually stranger than fiction. And there's a lot of things that's going on in this world that is a little bit more than just, what you think it is. It's a lot deeper than what you guys think it is. Not just the Elon Musk thing, not just the Putin thing. There's a lot of disclosure that's coming out right now. Congresswoman Luna, she's putting out a lot of information right now. If you go see, see the stuff that she's talking about, if you go see the stuff that she's talking about on Joe Rogan, she's putting out a lot of stuff right now.
I would.
Right? Yeah, we passed the 2 hour mark. We about to end it. We about to end it now.
commentary on inflammatory things.
So
I
yeah,
actually
we're gonna
went-
go.
and then
We're,
the Air Force was like,
Sorry.
"Yeah, it's nothing."
Yeah, but meanwhile, they flew the wreckage to right field. They flew the wreckage, and Truman met them there, supposedly.
Well, I can tell you that in our hearing, we were actually notified, and you can pull this up. I think it was one of the witnesses had talked about what had happened at Vandenberg Air Base, where there was this thing that appeared over the base. It actually had multiple blotters reporting on it from phone calls into law enforcement from like hundreds of people, and whatever had appeared over the base was basically.
so look, we did do a live on that already. You guys can watch it, or you can go watch the Joe Rogan thing. Hey, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate everybody for being here, listening, tuning in. I know to a lot of y'all might say he's just babbling, but actually, if you take a couple of things that was talked about, if you take a couple of things that you heard and you go look it up for yourself, you'll be intrigued by what you find. And that's all we're here for. We're here to spark intellectual or creative thoughts into the minds of other people. So that's all these conversations are for, is to spark some type of thought with inside one another. For there is no me without you. Namaste, right? And if you haven't heard that someone love you, let me be the first but not the last to tell you that I love you, right? I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know how precious your time is. But in this moment right now, we had a great moment. Hopefully the next moment that we share with each other can be great. And as long as we're creating great moments with one another, those moments turn into a memory. And hopefully the memory that we share is a gracious one or a great memory, because that's all we should be doing, is trying to share good or great memories with one another, right? And through variations of conversations, we find common ground. And that's all I'm trying to find, is a common ground for all of us to sit upon. All right. So love is love. Namaste. Ashe. Hope to see you in the Discord. Replay game. I appreciate you. YouTube, y'all know what to do. Continue, continue, continue. Love is love. Atlas family. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support and great things that's happening around us and for us. All right. Be great.